Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Thursday. No, it's not even Thursday, guys. It's Tuesday, sorry. I usually go on Thursdays with Whitman-Walker, but today is a special Tuesday with Whitman-Walker. So it is not Thursday, it is Tuesday, but we are still going live today, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in. Welcome, welcome. We have a special treat today. We're talking about dating apps and safety and tips with one of my co-workers, social media influencers as well. He'll be joining us soon, so come on in, get comfortable and enjoy. It's Tuesday. Why did I think it was Thursday? Lord. Come on in. Don't be shy. If you have any questions, please ask in the bottom. We are talking specifically today with Whitman-Walker about dating apps and tips and just being safe with dating online. So if you've got questions or you've thought about it, join us. We'll be talking a little bit about that. So thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Just waiting for our co-host. They should be coming in any second. How's everybody doing today? This beautiful Tuesday. I'm gonna have some music on one of these lives, one of these days. Just vibe. So how's everyone today? Happy Tuesday. Okay. It is Taco Tuesday. Don't ask why I thought it was Thursday. Come on in. Waiting for our co-host to join us, and we will get started. There we are. Let's see. Well, hello, hello. How are you today?
I am good. See if I can get my face in the frame.
Right? Look, I already started today. Happy Thursday. I'm so used to Thursdays going live. I'm like, wait.
Oh, you were like, happy Thursday?
I was like, it's Friday tomorrow. No, it's not. Just kidding. So,
yeah,
guys,
so I'm excited about today's topic.
I know, same here. So for those of you that don't know, I'm Orlando. I'm one of the social media influencers with Whitman-Walker. My pronouns are he, him, and his. So during the past few months, Whitman-Walker's Community Health Department has expanded its outreach efforts to social media platform. We cover various topics about HIV, STI, sexual health, practices, access to care, social detriments of health, and general public health interventions. The next series of outreach will focus on current pandemic COVID-19, how to manage your sexual personal health. The community health team is here to educate and support you. David, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I am David. My Instagram tag is sir_Dave_, but I'm also a Whitman-Walker influencer with Lando here. My pronouns are he, him, his. And today we're going to be talking about dating apps and tips and safety about how to interact on those particular platforms. So more than 40 million Americans use online dating services or dating apps. And in this case, when you're meeting someone new, whether online or offline, it's actually very, very wise to keep safety precautions in place and in mind. So dating apps don't conduct criminal background checks, or they don't do all that like background investigation on who are joining on these platforms. So it is up to each other and us as individuals to determine if they are actually, if you're comfortable with meeting someone online. It is also important to remember that if you do experience sexual assault or violence while on a dating app or using a dating app, that it is not your fault. It is never your fault that you might have experienced assault or violence. I do want to spend some time today. Me and Orlando is going to talk about some steps that you could take to increase your safety when interacting with others online and on these dating apps and data services. and sometimes even child Facebook and Instagram, you can get a man on those too. So whether you are interacting virtually or in person or on Grindr or on Facebook, it is important to have some safety tips in your back pocket. And they'll make you feel more secure when you're interacting on these platforms.
Oh, real. So, Dave, tell us one of your crazy stories of meeting a person online. How did it make you feel? Would you do it again?
So I think first of all, I have so I'm like,
Boy, I
okay,
see all the memories coming back.
I'm like, how deep do we go here? So first of all, I have a love-hate rate relationship with dating apps. I think that I like them because, during the pandemic, it was one of the few ways you can really socialize with gay people, right? It's not like I could go to a gay bar and meet a friend or, meet someone that I want to go on a date with. So I re-downloaded dating apps, and I kind of use that as my method of meeting folks. I've had some crazy stories. I am very pro sex. I believe that, you should do what as long as it's consensual and you know what you're getting yourself into, do it. Like, it's your body, you control it. I support that. The craziest experience I had, and I actually think it was a very threatening experience, is that I agreed to meet up with a guy online off of an app. And, we exchanged pictures. I followed the protocol that I have in place. So my protocol is I send, I want to see some pictures. I might even ask for FaceTime on, and thank God that we have that now in these apps. And then also I might ask them to or when I'm on, if I decide to go to their house or wherever we're meeting, I would say send a location to my friend or share my location. So those are my safety precautions. But one thing you can't control is who's there when you get to that location, right? So I agreed to meet up with this person. I get there and it's him and another person. And I'm like, wait, no, ma'am. I did not sign up for this. And so you really do not know what you're going to get yourself into. So, I'm not gonna say what happened after that,
Yeah.
because
Pro sex. We already know about you.
but it was not what I expected at all. It's not what I agreed to on the app, and I actually felt a little bit violated because that could have went totally left. I'm showing up, and I don't think I would do that again. And in fact, if someone else tries to do that, I'm probably just gonna leave and not interact with those folks. What about you? What was your crazy experiences?
I'm not big on meeting strangers, at all. I'll talk to them, if they give me a good vibe, I'll be like, yo, let's grab a drink and go from there.
Yeah.
But, I have met people that are 20 years older, don't look anything like their pictures. And, I entertain them, and again, we're in public.
Yeah.
So, I never felt comfortable. I didn't even get into the apps until I want to say 2012 when I got an iPhone. When I left BlackBerry and got an iPhone and was able to play with the apps on only on iPhone.
Yeah.
And I remember signing up when I was younger, but I was a super shy kid. So I would talk to people, but I'm like, no, not gonna happen. So I really can't say.
Yeah.
I've never gone to a stranger's house. I have gotten in public and gone home with people, but I have met them. So I really can't say about, or maybe I don't remember. I've had some nights I don't remember. So you never know. And if it was look, if it was blacked out, it was meant not to remember. So we're going to leave it at that. So this is why it's important to make sure you stay safe. So we wanted to give you guys a few tips on connecting online. So use different photos on your dating profile, because obviously if you see a picture with one photo, it could be just fake. If they have a couple pictures, and ask questions, ask for social media, ask them for Snapchat, maybe a little video. A lot of these apps now have videos, like you were saying earlier, where you can do a little recorded video. I ask for, touch your nose and send me a picture, or say my name they be getting mad at me, but I'm like, yeah. I need to make sure it's you. So It is what it is. If you're mad, I'm good. We don't need to talk anymore. Obviously, avoid connecting with suspicious profiles. If they have no picture, if they have no this, if they have no that, if they don't want to share a picture, like, come on now. Don't tell me you don't have a camera. If you're able to get an app, you have a camera. You can have a
Right.
picture in that app.
Right.
Um, like I said earlier, ask for a potential Snapchat, Instagram. Make sure you just try to see them in another social media platform. That way, you know, hey, okay, we have mutual friends. Ask your mutual friends about that. Pay attention to phishing attempts when people try to gain valuable information um, from,
Yeah.
and you know,
Because
like,
a lot of people don't know about that, but like there are people on these apps like getting your personal information or attempting to, so they can do some fraudulent stuff. And so pay attention to that. Like if they're asking like your name, your middle name, your address, just be like,
no,
whoa, like
uh,
yeah.
I'll be telling. They'd be like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I'm a dancer." Which I am, but I don't tell them my days, my day job. But yeah, block them as soon as you feel insecure. Block them. Don't share any personal information. Don't respond. Don't respond to requests for financial help. If someone's asking for money, come on now. Like at least get some first. Then ask for money. Don't do that. Y'all should know better than that. And pretty much trust your gut. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Your gut is there for you.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I've had some, crazy experiences myself from, dating on these apps. So I do want to share a list that, and a few examples of some common stories and suspicious behaviors that, you might experience. Like people be out here scamming and, they try to build trust and try to build sympathy so that they can manipulate someone else in a unhealthy way. And so, Lando already mentioned this, but if someone's on the app and they're asking for financial assistance in any way, and because it's a personal or sudden crisis, like that's probably suspicious. Like I don't know if I'm having an emergency, I'm not gonna get on Grinder and be like, "Hey, you got some money."
Right.
So that's probably suspicious. Be careful. There are stories and news reports of people that have got robbed off of dating apps. So just be mindful of that. If they're claiming that, they are from the United States but living or working abroad, take that as a sign as they might be fraud as well. Um, if they claim that they've been widowed or like they widowed with children, or that they like maybe disappear from the site and then they reappear in a different name. I've seen that a lot on like Grinder and Jack, that these other apps where people like use the same pictures but they change all these different names, and they have like a very sexy person and they reach out to you like, go to this link and send money, and no, don't do it. If they're giving vague answers to questions that you're asking. So, no, like for example, if you ask like, "Hey, yeah, I'm down to meet you up, but who's over there?" and they, are very vague about that, that might be a sign that you don't want to go over there. If they're overly complimentary or romantic way too early, that could be a red flag. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for romance, and I love when I think I'm gonna fall in love on the first meetup.
No,
But
not falling in love on the. I want to cash up on the first meetup. F love.
the likelihood of that happening, it's very slim. So if they're being overly affectionate, overly romantic, they're probably just trying to reel you in to get something out of you, and you want to be mindful of that. Um, if they're pressuring you to do anything, whether that's get your phone number or to meet up, like pressure is never good. You should only do that at your own pace, at your own time. If they're requesting your address, as I mentioned earlier, or your credit card number or whatever, all that is off limits. Do not provide that. And if they're being, inconsistent with their stories or using language or grammar that doesn't, necessarily indicate that they actually could be like I've had stories where people like try to like pretend to be this wealthy person, but the tone of the conversation, the language that they use didn't really line up. So just pay attention to all those details. You can get a lot. You can tell a lot from people's language and their behavior. And if they're sending anything harassing or offensive, like again, block them. Like threats, intimidations, that ain't acceptable in person, and it's not acceptable online either. So yeah, and be mindful of those fake profiles as well. People are out here using other folks' photos. We see it happening all the time. So
They might see
um,
our photo, so if somebody's being rude and it's got one of our pictures in there, let us know because it's probably not us because we the nicest.
yeah, okay. So if you
Like,
do decide to meet up in person, I would say video chat them first. Tell your friend where you're going. You can meet in a public place. That's always good. Like I love to go to coffee. I like a cocktail, so I usually say a bar. But if they don't drink, I'm like, oh, let's meet for coffee.
no,
And
we can still get a cocktail. You could drink water. I want a cocktail.
also, like, don't rely on your date to pick you up or rely on transportation because you don't want to get stuck anywhere with them, right? Also, stick with your what you're most comfortable with. I think it's good to you know, if you go out in public and you're feeling uncomfortable, tell the bartender, tell the waiter, and also just trust your instincts.
Yeah, for real. So, I mean, that's mostly in terms of regular dating apps. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, there are hookup apps like, Grinder and, the ones that people are really just more aggressively trying to hook up. We get it. Some people love that. But be super even more careful because, like we said earlier, people have gotten mugged, people have gotten robbed, people have been, put in the hospital for meeting strangers just to get a quick fix of quick sex. So, for gay and bi men, they've normalized an absolutely wild phenomenon. After exchanging as 30 words, start sending pictures of our junk. We go to complete strangers' houses to have sex. Many
Yeah.
times we have no idea what it actually looks like before we get there. We're doing the exact opposite of what our parents taught us while growing up. So not only are we talking to strangers, we're meeting them in closed off spaces to bone.
Yeah.
So, but that's what makes it so hot for some people. So we get it. For many queer men, the element of fear and who's it going to be is arousing. I've heard numerous stories of someone who's met up on Grindr that they've left their apartment door open, unlocked, or given them codes to get into their apartments, and they've been found tied to the bed, completely nude, blindfolded. Imagine being tied in a bed and somebody coming in who's ill-minded, who's there to hurt you, and you're blind, you can't even see them. They'll take out your stuff before you even realize, all right, let me take this blindfold off.
Okay.
So this is not
Yeah.
my story. It's never happened to me,
I
y'all.
say leave those sexual encounters to people you trust.
Exactly.
I've heard of people performing in those very risky behaviors. Like, I've even had people message me on the app like, hey, just come in, the door's open. I'm gonna be there, tooted up and booted up and ready to be spooned. I'll use that. And like but that I could have been
Crazy.
anybody. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they're giving out their address. Like you said, I could have been someone that could come in there and hurt them while they're like blindfolded. You know.
They might like
Um,
it though. But I need a permission slip. You need to let me know it's okay. But I mean, it's crazy because I love a sexual encounter just as much as anyone else. But needless to say, you have to be careful if you're planning on trying it out. Find someone you can role play with, and you can do all that stuff once you know someone comfortably. There are huge risks involved in having anonymous sex with people you meet up in an app,
mhm.
both in terms of physical, getting robbed. Here are some tips to feel comfortable meeting people online. Again, ask for pics, ask for pics, ask for pics. Me, I ask them to send me a pic touching their eye or touching their nose, something that'll let me know that that's them. Like, I want to make sure. Ask for a FaceTime, ask for a phone number, share location with a friend. So I usually take a picture of like me texting them before I save them. Send that. I send where I'm going. I send a picture of that profile, or I'll send it to my Facebook. Because even if they take your phone, you can log into Facebook later, and you'll have your own proof. Because I know a lot of people try to be on the DL, or they try to be, super like discreet about doing something like that. We get it. Just make sure you dot your I's, cross your T's, send it somewhere. You can recover it later. Send it to your email. because you can always sign in somewhere else another day. If you're not comfortable, leave. Trust your gut. We definitely talked about that. So we did some research on some of the safe apps for 2021 were the League, XO, Bumble, Pure, Ship, Tinder, Curtain,
I've never heard of Curtain. That's
me
new.
neither,
I'll have to check that one out.
for real. Gruff, OkCupid, and Badoo. So
Yeah.
most of those, when you are signing up for something in this situation, make sure they authenticate your profiles. Like for example, Tinder, if it has a little blue check, then
Mhm.
it definitely helps know that that's a true person that actually authenticated their pictures. Let's see.
Consuelo asked a question. What if you're doing sex work?
Same thing.
Consuelo,
I mean,
huh?
I feel like that's a touchy subject. Like if you're doing that, it's still a risk because again, you are meeting strangers. You are getting in cars with strangers. We understand that. Just make sure you let someone know where you are. Share your location with a friend. Make sure you let them know, hey, I'm gonna do something. But if you don't hear from me in 30 minutes, follow my location. Call the police. Come find me. Like you literally have to communicate with someone because if you
Hmm.
are in the streets getting into strangers' cars, you don't know if it's going to be an easy transaction. You don't know if it's not going to be easy transaction. So just be mindful with who you share your information. Definitely share your location. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, no, I'm Consuelo. First of all, that is a great question. I think sex work on dating apps. A lot of the tips that we provided, still, I mean, they still you can still use those tips. In terms of like street walking and meeting people on the street, obviously, like um, the tips about like if that's the work type of work that you do, just make sure like one you trust somebody else that know you do that work, and so that you're able to communicate about your whereabouts, where you're going, maybe provide descriptions of how this person looks, again where you're headed, descriptions of the buildings, whatever that might be, so that people just know where you are, and that also one thing I always tell my friends is that have like a code word with your friends, something that you can just text or you can say, like, that they know means that you're in some type of danger or some type of trouble. I tend like something that doesn't actually have to signal someone else. For example, you can pretend like if you're in a dangerous situation, you can say, oh, well, I need to call my mom, and you can just have a conversation as if like you know nothing's going on, but your friend would pick up on that because you've had a code word. You've said a code word. I would incorporate that into my practices if I was doing sex work on the streets.
And a good little tip is something that I'm always on top of stuff. So what I would do is right before I walk up to that car is take a picture of them license plates. Just be real discreet. Have your phone in your hand already. Ready,
Hmm.
you get ready. Learn how to press the button while you look like you're using the phone. Get that license plate, send it to your Facebook, send it to your bestie. That
Hmm.
way, that'll be the quickest way to find who this vehicle was, in case
Hmm.
somebody else was driving it. So just be smart and be super careful because we're here for it. Sex workers are important. And
Hmm.
we want you to be safe just as much as anyone else. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you are supported here at Whitman-Walker. That's what you
Very
do.
supportive. I'm all about
Just
that.
make sure you get tested. And we do all that for you, so you can reach out to us at the number that's pinned right there. And
Yes.
we got you. We got you covered. So Orlando, what are your favorite dating apps? I personally, like there's an app I'm ashamed to even admit it. It's called Failed. It's spelled
Failed.
Feeld. And the reason that I like this app is because it's probably the most sex positive app I've ever been on. And there's just because sexuality is a spectrum, right? And I notice that a lot of these apps is either like, oh, you're gay, straight, or bi, but there's so much in between. I feel like that app Failed does a good job helping connect people that fall on the in between, across that spectrum. So whether your sexual, preference is to have intercourse with two men and a woman, or all women, or whatever it is, it's like it has everything that you could pick on this app. So I love how sex positive it is, and it just feels like a very like open and environment to be in. And they also do identity verification.
Hmm.
So you have to pin some sort of social media to your profile in order to join the app. So you can't just like put up fake pictures because you have to be able to log into your social media profile and be and they is so that's a way that they kind of like get around the fake profiles. Don't get me wrong, people can still make a fake Facebook
Oh yeah,
profile and
for
then log
sure.
in and but it's more work, right? So they're less likely to do it. What's yours?
I've been so bad. Like I told you earlier, I'm so bad with like dating. I want to say that like 2019 was actually probably the first year that I tried to date like homosexuals because I've dated a lot of and I'm not ashamed. Like I've dated a lot of straight, curious men. So it's kind of rough. Like I meet them, but like 19, I tried dating like the actual men that like men.
No, what you mean?
I know it
What?
sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. And then 2020 comes around, and like everything's like at least I have more time because I don't have time. You know me. I work full time, 20 classes a week, out and about, make time for. So like I'll meet random people here, but I never really date. And when I started to date, and then pandemic, so I met a lot of people on apps. Like what do I have? I have Tinder, Grinder. That's about it. Like
Yeah,
I tried other ones, but I feel like they're so like I don't know, vanilla, wild. Like I'm like, hi, hi.
yeah,
Nobody talks. Like that's it. So people like are so like pressed to match, but they don't want to communicate. So
yeah. That
I
is
did.
like you match with people and then you hear nothing. You be like, okay, like what was the point? But I got so many dating apps. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Another one I like is Hinge. I like Hinge because it's a little classier. It's not all about like sex, sex,
That's
sex, and like they actually ask you questions about yourself, and you get to like put a little more information on your profile, like funny stuff, and it gives you a better sense of a person's personality than I
right.
think some of the other apps where you just see torsos and that's it. So I like Hinge, and I think it like creates a space where like if you connect with somebody but then you later decide that you are uninterested, you can easily disconnect from them. I love that. Like I love being able
Exactly.
like I thought you were going to be a match but actually no.
Exactly. Oh my lord. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, does anyone have any questions, concerns? If you don't feel like asking here, you can always message us or write us at Whitman-Walker. I'm gonna try these dating apps. I'm gonna try to start dating. This gives me
Look,
hives.
dating apps aren't for everybody, but I mean, now that we can get out a little bit more, we're vaccinated and stuff, like maybe you'll be able to skip the dating apps, but you know, I like them for what they offer. It's a hit and the miss most of the
I like
time.
meeting people. Yeah, like meeting new friends. Like, let's grab a
Yeah,
drink. If they can deal with that, then I'm good with anything else. But if they can't
yeah,
deal with that, like, they'll be like, yo, I just want to hook up. No, I need to meet you. I want to see if there's a connection there. And then we can be the best F buddies you want to be because I'm good. I can handle that. But I
yeah,
need to meet so Lil Butt first because I know you catfishes out there. Lord, they out there. Them catfishes be wild.
yes. But no. So wherever you align, I just want you to know that we support you, we need you, we value you, and we see you. You want to close this out, Lando?
Yeah, let's do it. So don't forget, we're still in a pandemic, even though things are opening up. Um, don't forget to keep your distance, wear your mask, wash your hands. If you're in areas where you can't social distance, some people are saying you can remove your mask. As long as you're comfortable outside, you don't need your mask, but be very careful if you're around people you don't know who's vaccinated, who's not. So wear your mask. If you have any questions, please hit us up at Whitman-Walker. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Whitman-Walker, or go to our website, www.whitman-walker.org, for most up-to-date information on our services with COVID or testing for HIV and STIs. If you have any questions, call us at 202-797-4439. And just follow us for some programs at Real Talk DC, No Filter DC, and The Corner DC. David, thank you so much for today.
Yeah, thank you, Orlando. It's great to be on here with you. You are so
Always.
hilarious. I
We
love when
have
I go live with you.
I try. So we definitely gotta do some more of these conversations on new stuff now that COVID's leaving our uh our checklist. We don't have to talk about COVID as much as we used to.
Oh, well, you think so?
We
We'll
still
see.
will, but now we can touch other subjects like we are trying to get out of COVID as much. Anywho, anything
We'll
you want to
see.
say?
I just say stay up to date on what the CDC is posting. As of right now, that's the best source of information, and that's what we kind of follow here at Whitman-Walker. So, yeah, get vaccinated. Get
Get vaccinated.
vaccinated. Get
And
vaccinated.
Thursday, are you? What do you go on again this week, or is this your only week?
This is it. This is
Okay,
it.
so
So,
tomorrow will probably be Seoul. Thursday, we're doing what restrictions are looking like right now in DMV. So come back on Thursday. If there's any updates, I will let you know. Here with Whitman-Walker, we appreciate all of you. Stay
yeah.
safe, have fun, and stay beautiful, all peoples. See you guys
Bye,
soon.
Lando. I'll talk to you later.